But what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. Fighting the power has a price. I'm not saying to not do it. I'm just saying it has a price. Because sometimes people like to romanticize history. And when I mean romanticize, it's like, oh, this person stood up for this and they stood up for that and they did this and they did that. And they had to pay for that. And when they had to pay for it, people kind of left them hanging. You get what I'm saying? There were people who were in it with them, for sure. But there were other people you know, there are other people who were more so like, hey man, you on your own. Now, and why I'm saying this is because people want you to fight, quote unquote, the power so they can benefit. But if you wind up on the end of the consequences, they'll disappear on you. You know, what was that? What was was it Peter? I want to say in the Bible, you know, was it Peter or Paul? I think it's Peter. Where Jesus said, you know, you was going to deny me 3 times, basically before the rooster crows, before sunrise, basically. And he loved them, you know. And Jesus was fighting the power and standing up and doing all these things. But then when that pressure started coming, like, I don't know that dude. Who? I don't know that dude. Who? I was with him. No, I don't know that dude. And then, you know, if you ever seen the Passion of the Christ, I think, you know, he says it 3rd time and the rooster crows and Jesus gives this look like, uh-huh. And then he like, oh no, I did it. Well, that's what happens, man. Like, there comes a point where people are willing to take the fight because it's a just fight. You know, when you fight against unfairness, you know, people being unethical and ungodly, it's a just fight. But we don't necessarily reward people for fighting that fight. You know, I talked about it recently where, you know, athletes, entertainers, and rappers, we didn't tell our kids to be like Fred Hampton or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Medgar Evers or Martin Luther King's brother, Alfred King, because they got killed. They got set up, they got killed. And it's like, huh? Gonna celebrate you, but we don't want to be like you, right? You know, people. There's a. I want to say Showtime has a documentary on Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Some of y'all know him, some of y'all don't know him. If y'all college basketball fans, he's Chris Jackson in college and early in the pros. He went to LSU. It was him, Shaq, and Stanley Roberts, I believe. That was the core of that team. But he was the main scorer. Went to the NBA, changed his name because he became a Muslim. He had Tourette's or whatever, and so he had a tick, you know. Became a Muslim, was fast, but he was the first person. Not the first. I don't think he was the first. I think Jackie Robinson was actually the first, if I'm not mistaken, because he didn't want to stand for the anthem. Because I'm not mistaken, Jackie Robinson didn't worry about the anthem either. But his career got ended because they made a mountain out of a molehill. And then, you know, years later, the Colin Kaepernick thing, which, you know, mountain out of a molehill. And people felt like, you know, standing up to power, not power, people's, what is perceived power, I'll say that. And it's going to cost you, right? And you got to understand, people have lost their livelihoods standing up for what's right. People have lost their family standing up for what's right. People's children have been blackballed standing up for what's right. So fighting the power, you know, comes with a price. You know, people's grandchildren have been sabotaged because grandfather or mother did something like that. Oh, you're them, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to do this. And these people were fighting for the right things. And the irony of it is, um, fighting the power has a price. And what's weird about it is society changes and comes around after the fact and go, you know what, we were wrong. But still technically participate in the same type of actions. Not even technically. Still participates in the very things that that person got persecuted for. And their families got persecuted for. And then, they get propped up like they were a great person. It was a bad time, but basically you're still doing the same thing. But now you see less and less people going, I can't do it. I can't rock with that. I gotta fight against this because um it's the it's a capitalistic country. It's a capitalist country. So money is everything in this country. So now money has beat out principles. Money has beat out ethics. Money has beat out God by far. I mean, and that was, like I said, that's from the beginning of this country's inception. But so you don't necessarily want to fight against the quote unquote power system because the power system has access to money, and what they'll do is they'll cut off everything that you can ever do with your life because for the only way you can move forward is if people galvanize around you and support you as a support system and pay for things. And at this particular point, people don't do that as much anymore. You just left hung out to dry. Like like take for instance, and people go about the money thing. Like take for instance the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, all the guys that got killed that were um, not even inspirational, but intricate in the foundation of the movement got killed, by the police or got killed under suspicious um, circumstances. People forgot about those brothers. They fought against the power and it cost them their life. And but now the thing people remember is the ladies coming together and it's down with the patriarchy, blah blah blah. We're against racism, but we're for the LGBTQ community, and this is about women and mothers and LGBT people and men are not to be involved. But you got men outside of the organization that their death spawned the birth of, and men inside of the organization that their death was just brushed to the side and looked over. So people have a price, and some people will cash in your price for their benefit. So that's all I got to say about this one. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna say it again.